Let's talk about those moments. You know, those super frustrating moments where a memory you know is in there just, poof, vanishes. Well, today, we're going to dig into what the research says is really going on inside our heads when that happens, and, way more importantly, what we can actually do about it.
Oh yeah, we've all been there, right? You walk into the kitchen with a mission, you're on a roll, and then you just stop. And you're standing there thinking, what on earth did I come in here for? It's got to be one of the most common and kind of maddening little brain glitches we all experience.
It's that little uh-oh feeling. You know, it might be funny the first time, but when it starts happening more and more, it can feel genuinely concerning. The most important thing to know right now is this: you are absolutely not alone in this.
Okay, so to really understand what's going on, we need to pop the hood and take a look inside the brain itself. We're heading straight for the command center of your memories.
So, say hello to the hippocampus. I want you to think of it like the master librarian for your entire life. It's constantly filing away new experiences, creating new memories, and helping you pull up the old ones. It is the command center for learning and memory, and it is just so important.
And this? Well, this is where it gets pretty serious. This incredibly vital part of your brain, it isn't invincible. The research we're looking at shows it can actually shrink, and as it gets smaller, its ability to do its job just gets worse and worse.
So how in the world would you even know if this is happening? Well, the early signs can be sneaky. It's things like suddenly feeling totally lost driving in a new neighborhood you feel like you should know. Or that feeling, that awful tip of the tongue feeling where you're in a conversation and the word is right there, but you just can't grab it. These can be little red flags that your hippocampus is under some serious stress. So the million-dollar question is why? Why does this happen? What is causing all this damage? Well, it turns out there are two main culprits that we really need to get to know. And here they are. According to the source material we're breaking down, the two primary attackers are a diet high in sugar and not having enough vitamin B1. Now, they might seem totally unrelated, but believe me, they team up to create a real storm of damage inside the brain. Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. Your brain's #1 favorite fuel is glucose, sugar. But when you have way too much sugar coming in and not enough vitamin B1 to help process it all, you create this huge metabolic problem. It actually damages the very pathways the brain uses to get its energy. It's like having a car with a full tank of gas, but the fuel line is completely busted, the engine is starving.
So, that's the problem, a broken fuel line, an engine that's starving for energy. But, and this is a big but, this is where the story gets really hopeful. Because what if, just what if, the brain could run on a different kind of fuel altogether? The strategy we're looking at here is a really brilliant two-part approach. First, we've got to give the brain a new alternative fuel source it can actually use. And second, we need to help it repair all that damage and start rebuilding those connections. Let's talk about this new fuel. They're called ketones. You can think of them as the super premium, high-octane, clean-burning fuel for your brain. And here's the absolute game changer. They can completely bypass those broken glucose pathways. They've got their own private entrance to deliver energy right to your brain cells. Okay, so premium brain fuel sounds pretty good, right? But how do you get it? Well, one of the most direct and efficient ways is through something called MCT oil. It's a special kind of fat, usually from coconuts, that your body can convert into these powerful, brain-boosting ketones incredibly fast. And this right here just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you have the problem. Your brain cells are literally struggling, they're starving because they can't use glucose the right way. And on the other side, you've got this beautiful, elegant solution. Ketones just waltz right in through a different door, providing the energy your brain is desperate for.
But remember, this was a two-pronged solution, right? Getting that energy crisis under control is absolutely huge, but it's only part one. Now we've got to talk about repairing the actual hardware.
Look, getting fuel to those starving cells is critical, but we also have to deal with the physical damage. The goal now is to support what's called neurogenesis, which is just a fancy word for the brain's amazing ability to grow new brain cells and forge brand new connections. And for this job, we turn to something pretty incredible from the natural world: lion's mane mushroom. This stuff has been studied for its really remarkable ability to support the very growth factors that encourage new neurons to sprout, helping to rebuild those vital communication lines in the brain. So let's just put the entire game plan on one screen. It's so simple when you see it like this. You've got the problem, the action you need to take, and the specific tool for the job. For the brain energy crisis, you switch the fuel source using MCT oil to make ketones. For the damaged neurons, you support new growth using lion's mane, a powerful 1-2 punch.
So what's the big takeaway here? The crucial point from all of this is that you are not powerless. By understanding the root of the problem, that energy crisis in your hippocampus, and taking action with the right fuel and the right support, the research suggests you can make a real proactive difference in your brain's health.
And that really just leaves us with one final, very personal question. A question for you to think about. When you look at your own life, your own habits, what kind of fuel are you giving your brain every single day? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.